The time is 11:14 a.m., October 15th, 2025. I am to leave the sound machine off. I am to, if it does come onto this evidence video, film the domestic violent terrorist in the backyard shouting and shouting and shouting to one another just to simply talk to one another, but they do it at amazingly loud volumes, which is therefore nothing less than shouting every single word as they stand 12 inches or so from each other, right next to one another. They shout every word. There is at least two women, or certainly one woman. They are Americans. I don't know what they look like. And they came out in the last 5 minutes and counting, 5, 6 minutes. So they're still there and they're shouting, and there's a man, there's at least two men, and they're all American. And the men were in the yard first, and they were murmuring, really creepy, suspect all the way. We know it's a terrorist cell, murmuring. And then they started to shout. And then the women came, and then it got really loud, and they stood in the backyard and just shouted every last word they spoke. So you could hear them from the alley, you could hear them from 15th, and you could hear them from S Street. No matter where you were, you could hear this group of domestic violent terrorists in the backyard shouting every word they spoke to one another as they stood 1 or 2 feet from each other in distance. So if that comes up on this, I am to let that happen. I am to report and film only this. The Department of Justice are prosecutors, okay? That's how it works in the United States of America. And prosecutors at a really experienced veteran level prosecute the very individuals that I am an eyewitness to inside of this terrorist compound, which harbors and stockpiles chemical weapons and explosive weapons. The individuals that are harbored, aided, abetted, and given sanctuary in 1505, 1503, 1507, 1511, 1513, these distinct addresses, I am a direct witness to these individuals. So prosecutors that are veteran, that work at a federal level, prosecute these kind of violent terrorists. This part of their job requirement and how they got to where they are in their career as lawyers and career as prosecutors at a veteran level. They prosecute these really, really serious cases. They prosecute these violent offenders. Part of the prosecution, part of the discovery, part of the legal process is having these kind of violent offenders get psychiatric evaluations. So these are veteran doctors that sit with the offender, the violent offender, once they're in custody for the legal process. And they do a psychiatric evaluation based on the violent acts that these criminal offenders committed. And they give this evaluation to the prosecutor, okay? These people I'm a direct eyewitness to are in the extreme with the violence that they commit while they're harbored, aided, and abetted inside of these houses. The violence such as desecration of human remains, violence such as cannibalism, ingestion of human organs and tissue, so on and so forth. This is the most egregious, gruesome violence. So a psychiatric doctor is protocol to examine and evaluate, and the seriousness of the Department of Justice sending in their law enforcement to go after me, the direct witness to these kind of violent offenders, is what I am to say. I am to say it today. I am to say it at the time I dated in this video evidence. When the U.S. federal law enforcement officers walk in this front door to carry out the prosecution of Heidi G. Granger inside of the unit 1509 S Street Northwest. Within this chemical weapons violent terrorist compound, I will be filming it. Goodbye.